So you're gonna hit the light this way.
It's left. We're good.
Okay, you ready to bring us in? You ready to bring us in?
Shalom, shalom, Eli. Come. Shalom, this is a Shabbat service. All right, I'm Marakat, and this is Elder Nathaniel Alam. All right, I just want to salute him. First and foremost, to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. And we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. All right.
Okay, this week's Torah portion, we'll be reading in Genesis, the 32nd chapter, starting from verse 3, going over to Genesis, the 36th chapter, to verse 4. This week's Torah portion roughly is called Vayishlach, which means he sent. Okay, we'll be reading about Jacob, we'll be reading about Esau, we'll be reading about how Jacob wrestled the angel to receive this blessing, and his name was changed from Yaquab, Jacob, to Yasha'Allah, meaning he is a prince of power. Okay, so we got a lot of reading to do this week, so I'll just be forewarned. Okay, that being said, let us Amadiyam wa upon Jerusalem, let us stand and face towards Jerusalem, face towards your east, towards our homeland, Jerusalem, and we'll open up with Abanawa, Yahweh Shai's prayer, which is found in Matthew, the 6th chapter, verses 9 through 13. So everybody, Amadiyam wa upon Jerusalem, face towards Jerusalem. And we'll start off with the Abanawa prayer, which is Yahweh Shai's prayer. Everybody ready? Call and response. Oh, okay. All right. Everybody ready? Khan. Here we go. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malak Wafka. Daba'ah. Ratazaka. Haya. Aisha. Ba'aratazak. Kahaya. Bashamayim. Nathan Lanaw. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Washalak. Kabawafina. Kashalak. Kabawafina. Wala'ah. Debiyaw now. Benasai one. Abo. Hawashai now. Manrai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'thapara. Wa'abalumium. Aman. Basham. Yahushua. Hamashiach. Aman. Our Father. Which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us. Our debt. As we forgive. Our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us. From evil. Thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. Amen. Basham. Yahushua. Hamashiach. Amen. Okay, next prayers will be taken from Psalms 84 verse 4, Psalms 144 verse 15, Psalms 145, and Psalms 115 verse 18. All right, I'll say it. We won't be doing it in Arbariath. We'll be doing it in English. Here we go. Everybody ready? All right. I'll say, you don't have to repeat it. Blessed are they that dwell in thy house. They will still be praising thee, Selah. Happy is that people that are in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose Alahaya is Yahweh. I will have told thee my Alahaya, O King. I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and I shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts.
That's right.
And I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and I shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall of all those that be bowed down, proselyte. Yahweh upholds all that fall, and raises up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee. Thou givest their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand and settest thy desire every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh to all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. Yahweh preserves all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak the praise of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless Yahweh from this time forth and even forevermore. Hallelujah.
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 Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, the first three prayers of Amada. Okay. Abawath.
Abawath.
Barakathan.
Barakathan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahaya now.
Allahaya now.
Allahaya.
Allahaya.
Abawath now.
Abawath now.
Allahaya.
Allahaya.
Abaraham.
Abaraham.
Allah.
Allah.
Haya.
Haya.
Yatazakwa.
Yazakwa.
Wa Allah.
Wa Allah.
Haya.
Haya.
Yaikwa.
Yaikwa.
Allah.
Allah.
Shaya.
Shaya.
Allah.
Allah.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Gamal.
Gamal.
Sadayam.
Sadayam.
Barakathan.
Barakathan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Magan.
Magan.
Abaraham.
Abaraham.
Gabawarwa.
Gabawarwa.
Athan.
Athan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Gabor.
Gabor.
I Alawam.
Alawam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Makaya.
Makaya.
Matayam.
Matayam.
Wamaya.
Wamaya.
Dawama.
Dawama.
Laka.
Laka.
Malak.
Malak.
Ha'aywalam.
Ha'arilam.
Mamaya.
Mamaya.
Wamakaya.
Wamakaya.
Barakathan.
Barakathan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Makaya.
Makaya.
Matayam.
Matayam.
Quadawarhash.
Quadawarhash.
Shem Yahweh.
Shem Yahweh.
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 Athan.
Athan.
Quadayash.
Quadayash.
Washamka.
Washamka.
Quadawash.
Quadawash.
Wakwadawashyam.
Quadawash.
Bakal.
Bakal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Allah.
Allah.
Lawaka.
Lawaka.
Salah.
Salah.
Barakathan.
Barakathan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayanawa.
Allahayanawa.
Akwadawash.
Aquadawash.
Aman.
Aman.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The power of our Father.
The power of our Father.
The power of Abraham.
The power of Abraham.
The power of Isaac.
The power of Isaac.
The power of
The
Yaquah.
power of Yaakov.
Almighty power.
Almighty power.
Most high power.
Most high power.
Who bestows mercy.
Who bestows mercy.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The shield of Abraham.
The shield of Abraham.
You are mighty Yahweh.
You are mighty Yahweh.
Forever.
Forever.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Who revives the dead.
Who revives the dead.
Who's comparable to you.
Who is comparable to you.
King of eternity.
King of eternity.
Who caused death
Who caused death
and gives life.
and gives life.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Who gives life
Who gives life
to the dead.
to the dead.
You are holy, Yahweh.
You are holy, Yahweh.
And your name is
And
holy.
your name is holy.
And the Holy One
And the Holy One
every day
every day
praise you
praise you
forever.
forever.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The power who is holy.
The power who is holy.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Amadium, stand. Okay, we're about to do the anointing prayer. Set the order up.
Shapio, Zanaka, yeah. Levi, Bon Levi, Bon Ephraim, Bon Zebulun, Bat Judah, Bat Levi. And then me,
Okay, everybody got it?
Khan.
Okay. Okay, the anointing prayer, Yabaraka. Okay. Numbers the 6th chapter, verses 24 to 26. Y'all ready?
Come.
Yabarakaka.
Yabarakaka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Washamarka.
Washamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Panyawa.
Panyawa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'a.
Yasha'a.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Panyawa.
Panyawa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Washamlaka.
Washamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapar.
Rapar.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Hashapio Gabar.
Zanakaria.
Kimball G. Lewis.
Brian G. Lewis.
Yashia.
Your Parker House.
Zoe. Zoe.
Go ahead, Kayla. Say your name, Kayla.
Marakai.
Nathaniel Allah. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapar.
Shamar.
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 Kazak.
Kazak. Hashapio Gabar.
Zanakaria.
Kimball G. Lewis.
Brian G. Lewis.
Yashia.
Your Parker House.
Zoe.
Marakai.
Nathaniel Allah. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Barak.
Barak.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Kazak.
Kazak. Hashapio Gabar.
Zanakaria.
Kimball G. Lewis.
Brian G. Lewis.
Yashia.
Your Parker House.
Zoe.
Marakai.
Nathaniel Allah. Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Amen.
Yahweh bless thee.
Yahweh
bless thee.
And keep thee.
And keep thee.
Aman.
Amen.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Make his face.
Make his face
Shine upon thee.
shine upon thee.
Be gracious.
Be gracious
Unto thee.
unto thee.
Aman.
Amen.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lift up his countenance.
Lift up his countenance
Upon thee.
upon thee.
And give thee peace.
And give thee peace.
Aman.
Amen.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach. Aman.
Amen.
Okay, the last three prayers of Mada. Abba what? Abba, easy. Abba Wada.
Wada.
Ratazah.
Ratazah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayanawa.
Allahayanawa.
Ba'anka.
Ba'anka.
Yasha Allah.
Yasha Allah.
Wapalnawa.
Wapalnawa.
Wahabshah.
Wahabshah.
Abu Wada.
Abu Wada.
Bayafka.
Bayaka.
Makwadashka.
Makwadashka.
Wahabshah.
Wahabshah.
Banya.
Banya.
Tazakwa.
Tazakwa.
Bun.
Bun.
Aharon.
Aharon.
Barakathan.
Barakathan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Habshah.
Habshah.
Abu Wada.
Abu Wada.
Bayafka.
Bayaka.
Lalahanyaka.
Lalahanyaka.
Abu Wada.
Abu Wada.
Mabadayam.
Mabadayam.
Anaknawa.
Anaknawa.
Laka.
Laka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayanawa.
Allahayanawa.
La'iwalam.
La'iwalam.
Magun.
Magun.
Yeshainawa.
Yeshainawa.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shayam.
Shayam.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Tawabah.
Tawabah.
Wabarakakan.
Wabarakakan.
Kahan.
Kahan.
Wakasad.
Wakasad.
Wabarakakayam.
Wabarakakayam.
Alanawa.
Alanawa.
Wa'ayl.
Wa'ayl.
Call.
Call.
Yasha'alam.
Yasha'alam.
Ainka.
Ainka.
Be favorable.
Be favorable.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
To your people.
To your people.
Yasha'alam.
Yasha'alam.
And to our prayers.
And to our prayer.
Restore.
Restore.
The service.
The service.
Of your holy house.
Of your holy house.
And restore.
And restore.
The son.
The son.
Atazakwa.
Zakwa.
Zara.
Zara.
Son of Aharon.
Aharon.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
That restores.
That restores.
The service.
The service.
Of your house. To your priest.
To your priest.
We thank you.
We thank you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Our power.
Our power.
Forever.
Forever.
Shield of our salvation.
Shield of our salvation.
Grant peace.
Grant peace.
Goodness.
Goodness.
And blessing.
And blessing.
Grace and kindness.
Grace and kindness.
And compassion.
And compassion.
Upon us.
Upon us.
And upon all.
And upon all.
Yasha'alam.
Yasha'alam.
Your people.
Your people.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Mashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Amen.
Okay. Psalms 121, a song of degrees in a bar yath. Everybody ready?
Come.
Okay, here we go. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Baharyam.
Baharyam.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. Ma'aim.
Ma'aim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Wa. Awaratazah.
Awaratazah.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yatan.
Yatan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Ragalka.
Ragalka.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Shawamar.
Shawamar.
Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yana 1,
Yana 1,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yana Shan,
Yana Shan,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Ayel,
Ayel,
Yan,
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 Ka,
Ka,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'a,
La'a,
Yabarakaka,
Yabarakaka,
Wayarakaka,
Wayarakaka,
Ba,
Ba,
La,
La,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Makal,
Makal,
Rai,
Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar, Ah,
Napashka,
Napashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Yatazaka,
Yatazaka,
Wabarakakan,
Wabarakakan,
Ma'aitan,
Ma'aitan,
Wa'ayel,
Wa'ayel,
Iwilam,
Iwilam,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms 121, Psalms 121, Psalms 121, a song of degrees. I'll say it in English. Okay. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms 92. We'll do it in English, but the day's coming. I keep saying that, so I'm just gonna surprise y'all. Okay, Psalms 92, a psalm for the Shabbat day. I'll do it in English. It's a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to show and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy love and kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, upon a psaltery, upon a harp with a solemn sound. For lo, Yahweh has made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands, Yahweh. How great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, this that they shall be destroyed forever. But lo, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. But lo, thy enemies, O most high, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall not exalt like a horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire in my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of Alahiah. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing to show that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Bashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Aman, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Barak, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, the water, Kaya, Amafka, the water, Kaya, Hashabah, the water, Kaya, Amafka, the water, Kaya, Hashabah, the water, Kaya, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Aman, the water, Damyad, Aman, Yeshabiim, be seated.
Stand up.
Okay, who's the first reader?
Me.
Okay.
Kimball Jean Lewis, Bun Ronald, Bun Lawyer, Bun Yasha'Allah.
Abadim, Barak,
Yah Bashem Yashah Barakatam.
Okay. We are in this week's Torah portion. Just repeating myself. Vayishlach, which means he sent. Torah portion will be in Genesis, the 32nd chapter, starting from verse 3, going over to Genesis, the 36th chapter, verse 43. Okay.
Come.
And we're reading about how Jacob was going to try to appease the anger of Esau after he done made the man sell his birthright on more than one occasion. Okay, you ready?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and start. Verse 3, Genesis, the 32nd chapter. You good?
Okay, come.
All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messenger returned to Jacob, saying, We come to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds and the camels into two bands. And said, If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which says unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast shewed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children.
So basically, Jacob, realizing the vow that Esau made to him, saying that once our father has passed away, we'll look at this beef I got with you.
Yeah, basically that's the
That-
as soon as Pop died, you know it's over, right? Pop
right, we gonna handle business. Okay, we about to get it in. So Jacob, realizing that Esau's coming at him with like 400 men, said, "Oh, this ain't looking good." So he divided up his camp into two camps. He and he said, "Well, if he come to one camp and smites everything, at least the other camp will get away. And if he comes to the camp that I'm at, y'all get away." So he's trying to foresee the danger that he's about to face, because he really don't know how Esau is going to be coming at him. He knows he wants vengeance. That much he does understand. And then he petitioned the Most High, like, if there's any way possible, so you come in here and kind of like ease this guy's temper, his temperament towards me. Okay, what verse you in?
Verse 12.
All right, go ahead. All right.
And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand, and present for Esau his brother 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams.
So read that. So what just happened?
So he presented Esau with 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams.
So he's trying to appease him by offering part of his herd or a portion of his herd that he's accumulated over the years of working for Laban. All right. What verse you in?
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and ask thee, saying, Whose art thou? And whither goest thou? And whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be servants, Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau. And behold, also he is behind. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all the followed that drove, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the presence that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over the Pad. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
So there goes a man. He's wrestling with a man, but come to find out this is an angel. Okay, the Eliakim, one of the Eliakim. All right, go ahead. What verse you in? 22?
25.
25. All right, go ahead.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint.
So he disconnected his hip while wrestling with this angel. All right, go ahead.
As he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it thou that dost ask me after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose up upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, until this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. That's the end of the chapter.
All right, so what we see happening is Jacob wrestling his angel, and he wouldn't let the angel go till the angel blessed him. And the angel said, Okay, what is your name? He said, the name was Jacob. He said, From this day forth, your name will no longer be called Jacob, but your name shall be called Yasha Allah, meaning he is a prince of power.
Come.
All right. And to this day, we don't eat the veins of the thigh of any animals. We take those veins out. Okay. So that concludes Genesis, the 32nd chapter. So let's stand and close out this chapter. You got it?
Kasha. Okay.
Kasha.
Kasharah.
Kasharah.
The Bar Yahweh.
The Bar Yahweh.
Anaya Shah.
Anaya Shah.
Anashamar.
What not Shema?
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Okay, next reader.
Hashapio Gabar by Merle by Yahawada by Yasharala.
Madium. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Brakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua
Okay, so we're now in Genesis, the 33rd chapter. Okay, starting from verse 1. You got it?
Come.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 33 and verse 1. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau come, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto 2 handmaids.
So he's seeing his brother Esau come with 400 men, and they're all armed. So he don't know what to expect.
That's a lot too.
Yeah, 400. That's a good number. Okay, so he divided up his children. He divided up his servants. He didn't know what to expect when he saw Esau.
To this day, they do the same thing. They come with a lot of people.
Come.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. And he put the handmaids and the children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the women and the children, and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaids came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near, and bowed themselves. And after Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove, which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough. My brother, keep that thou hast unto thyself.
So Esau is basically telling Jacob, man, I got more than enough stuff. So, you don't have to give me these presents that you have.
Come.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me. And the children be able to endure, until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is the land of Canaan. When he came from Padan Aram, and pitched his tent before the city, and he built a salah, and he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, the shepherd, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it Israel. That's the end of the chapter.
Okay, so he erected an altar, Con,
Con.
and who did that? Jacob.
Con.
Yeah, con.
Okay,
Con.
and he dedicated to who? To the Most High.
Right?
Con.
All right, so that's what's so he met his brother Esau. Esau ain't fall on him with the sword, so he's still alive. And Esau sees his blessings, and Jacob sees the blessings of Esau, and they kind of came to a peace treaty, a peaceful accord, a peaceful agreement between the two of them. Okay, so that ends chapter 33. All right, let's men stand. All right, close it out.
Call Shara.
Call Shara.
Dabar Yahweh.
Dabar Yahweh.
Naisha.
Naisha.
Wenah Shema.
Wenah Shema.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Khan, next reader.
Sit back up. Sit back up.
Stand back up.
Sit back up. Oh, stand back up. All right. Sanakaria, Ban Markat, Ban Yehuda, Ban Yasharal,
Madium. Rock.
Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabrakatum.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshabrakatah.
Okay, we're in Genesis 34. About to see some beef. Chapter 34. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
This is Genesis chapter 34, verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land.
So she went out to basically compensate. Okay, for lack of I'll use the politically correct term. Compensate with the daughters of the land, meaning daughters of the other nations that happen to be in this particular land.
Yeah, because she was only daughter.
Right, come. All right, go ahead.
And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her.
Wow. So this African, okay, decided to take Dana, the daughter of Jacob, and sleep with her. Okay, didn't bother to talk to the father. Didn't bother. He just arbitrarily made a decision. Okay, and acted upon it physically.
And these are just some good instructions for you too. So pay attention on the steps you need to take when it comes to taking somebody's daughter.
Go ahead. What verse you in?
Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, in lying with Jacob's daughter, and the thing ought not to be done.
So her brothers, Simeon and Levi, who happened to be in the field at the time, were
You said Reuben and Levi?
no Simeon
Simeon.
and Levi happened to be in the field at the time, and they were pretty angry, to say the least.
And that folly they brought to Israel was they done things the wrong way. You know,
Folly, right? Foolishness.
It was foolishness, and it was basically heathens to them. You know, when no heathens sleeping with their sister.
Right. And no respect to protocol or order.
Nothing. They just took her.
You know, he just took her. Now, after the fact of him taking this woman's virginity, now he wants his father to go in and basically try to smooth things over with Jacob, the father of Dana. Okay.
And that's what they try to do these days. I mean, everything is just, how we locked in prisons and everything. You know, you see a lot of memes on Facebook. You know, I like black women because the father is not there. You know what I mean? So it goes a long way.
All right, go ahead. What verse you in?
Verse 8.
All right.
And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son, Shechem, longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughter unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you.
He's already lying to Jacob. He's already lying to Israel right now. Give me your daughter for my son to wife when he already wifed her.
Right. Technically.
Yeah.
But after the fact of his son basically taking the woman's virginity. Now, go ahead. What verse you in?
And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brother, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And he said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that we are reproached to us. But in this will I consent unto you, if you will be as we be.
They are being sarcastic a-holes right now. They're
being deceitful. They're misleading the man into thinking, well, all right, if you do want to do our sister, this is what you have to do, because you have to be circumcised. Okay, so go ahead, read.
That every male of you be circumcised.
Every male of you must be circumcised. Okay, go ahead.
Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if you will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter. He was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein for the land. Behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us, for to dwell with us to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us.
So basically, the men of the African leader's son, they all are in agreement with what Simeon and Levi are telling them that they have to do in order for us to think about giving our sons and daughters unto your sons and daughters in marriage. Okay, but mind you, now what we read before we got to this point is that they deceitfully said this to him. All right, because they had no intentions of doing that. All right, as the story will unfold. What verse you in?
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
Come. And unto Hamor, and unto Shechem his son, hearken all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinhah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. And the sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister, and took their sheep, and their oxen, their asses, and that which was in the city, so that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and all their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitations of the land, inhabitants of the land, Salah, amongst the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and being few in number, they shall, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed in my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?
So basically, Simeon and Levi went in after all the men of that village got circumcised, and I guess around maybe the second day, they were still in their soreness, and they came in and slew all the males within that village. And then once it got back,
couldn't move. They were sore.
right, they was incapacitated. So after slaying them, Jacob said, "Well, man, you know this is gonna get out, and I'm gonna have a bad name because you already gave your word of doing one thing, but then did something else, and now I'm worried about all these different African tribes and villages coming together to slay us because we're few in number and they're greater in number." But then the response from Simeon and Levi, well, could we let this trespass against our sister stand without vengeance? And what was Jacob's response?
Oh, should he sleep with her sister as an harlot?
Yeah, should he deal with her sister as a harlot? That was Simeon
and Levi.
Levi's response.
And that was the end of the chapter?
Come.
Okay. Chapter 34.
Come.
Okay. Con, so let's close out the chapter, men. Go ahead.
Khan. Kashara.
Kashara.
The Bar Yahweh.
The Bar Yahweh.
Anaisha.
Naisha.
Wanashemai.
Wanashemai.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Okay, Con. All right, so now we're in Genesis, the 35th chapter.
Khan.
Okay, go ahead.
Marakat, Ban Darnell, Ban Yahawah, Ban Yasharala,
Amadium. Barak.
Yahabashim Yashab Brakatham.
Okay, Genesis, the 35th chapter. Gonna read about the death of Isaac. Okay.
So this is about to get real deep. I think this is the one with
We'll see. Okay, Genesis, the 35th chapter. Moving pretty good with the reading this week. I'm surprised. Okay, go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 35 and verse 1. And God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, and appear unto thee. When thou fleddest from the face of Esau, when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother, then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make thee an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar, and called the place El Bethel, which there God appeared unto him, when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alon Bashath. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan Aram, and blessed him. God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. The name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and company of nations shall be of thee. A king shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spake with him Bethel, meaning the house of God. And they journeyed from Bethel. And there was but a little way to come to Ephrat. And Rachel traveled, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. Meaning, like, this is going to be just like the pregnancies before. All right, you're going to have this baby. All right, and it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Beyond, but his father called him Bunyamin. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way of Araphat, which is in Bethlehem. And Jacob and Bunyamin is today so-called Jamaicans in the West Indies. All right. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave.
Son of the right.
Come. In verse 20. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave until this day. And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bala. Yeah, Bala, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. And the sons of Bala, Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zelphah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob which were born to him in Padam Aram. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father unto Mamre. Verse 27. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac took the ghost and died. And this was a natural death right here. And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. So he was 80, so he was 180 years old. All right, but he died. Isaac naturally. That's how back then everybody died, was they gave up the ghost. You know, they gave up the spirit. They just died naturally. they wasn't killed. I mean, people got slaughtered. But naturally, that is a way of death. Dying is giving up the ghost. All right, and then they went through the sons of Jacob. They went through the maidens that had the children, the two maidens, and then they went through the children that Rachel and Leah had as well. They also named the place of the Most High, in Bethel, which is the Bethlehem, Bethel, the house of God. And also named where him and the angel had fought when they had gave him the name. He said your name is no more Jacob, it will be now called Israel. All this has been said in this chapter right here in chapter 35. Let me see. But that's it right there in this chapter.
Come. So that was Genesis, the 35th chapter. All right, let's close out. And we're in the last chapter of the Torah portion. Go ahead.
Ka'ashara.
Ka'ashara.
Bar Yahweh.
Bar Yahweh.
Nayashah.
Nayashah.
Wanashemai.
Wanashemai.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here.
What we doing here?
Okay, next reader.
Can you restart the order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kimball Jean Lewis, Bun Ronald, Bun Lawyer, Bun Yashala.
Madiam. Barak.
Yabashim Yashab Barakatan.
Yahweh Shabbat.
Okay, Genesis, the 36th chapter.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 36 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adad and the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Ahalobimah, the daughter of
Labama. Labama.
Ahalabamah,
There you go.
the daughter of Anah.
Alon. You start at 2. Start verse 2.
Okay. Esau took his wives of the daughter of Canaan, Adad the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Ahalabamah,
There you go.
the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite.
So Esau took his daughters of the nation of Canaan. They were a dark nation, Hamites. All right. Read.
And Beshemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajah.
And he took some daughters of the wild man, Ishmael. Read.
And Adad bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Beshemath bare Reu, and Ahalobamah bare Jahush, and Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan.
And these names are very important, all right? When it comes to lineages and it comes to periods and everything, pay attention to these names when you guys go over them, all right? Read.
And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the persons of his house and his cattle and all his beasts and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle.
They were too rich, so they needed to really separate because all their cattle and everything would get mixed up if they didn't split up. All right, go ahead.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
What?
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Mount Seir.
Mount Seir.
All right, read.
Esau is Edom.
Esau is what?
Edom.
Read.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir.
In Mount Seir, meaning a hairline. All right, it's a hairline. Read.
These are the names of Esau's son. Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the son of Eliphaz were Taman, Omar, Zapho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek.
Who?
Amalek.
Your so-called Jews. Right there, read. I like that right there. Amalek, right? Start at 12 again.
And Timnah was concubine.
And Timnah, yeah.
And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son.
Esau's son, read.
And she bare Eliphaz Amalek.
And she bare two Eliphaz Amalek. Read.
These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife.
Read.
And these are the sons of Reuel, Nahath and Zerah, Shema and Mazah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, the son of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jeush and Jalam and Korah. These were the dukes of the sons of Esau.
These were the what?
The dukes of the sons of Esau.
Read.
The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Teman. Duke Teman.
And who also was a known he also made it known that he was from the dynasty of Teman, was Alexander the Greek, whose father was Philip the Macedonian. All right, read.
Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kanaf, Duke Korah, Duke Gatan, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes.
Duke what?
Duke Amalek.
Read.
These are the dukes that come in Eliphaz.
So Alexander the Greek is related to Amalek. Philip the Macedonian is related to Amalek. They are all related. They're all the same people. All right, read. Esau's vagabondish children. Read.
And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shamash, Duke Mazar. These are the dukes that come of the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife. Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land of Latan, and Shabal, and Zibeon, and Anah, and Dishan, and Ezer, and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horite, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Latan were Hori, and Haman, and Latan's sisters was Timnah, and the children of Shabal were these, Alvan and Manohah.
Is it good? Is it righteously on us, both of us, right here in the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are the children of Shabal, were these Alvan and Manohah, and Abal, Shepho, and Onah. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was that Anah was found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anah were these, Dishan and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishan, Hemdan, and Ishban, and Ithran, and Sharan. The children of Ezer are these, Bilhan, and Zavan, and Akan. The children of Dishan are these, Uz and Aram.
The land of Uz. Keep going, go ahead.
These are the dukes that came of the Horites, Duke Latan, Duke Shabal, Duke Zibian, Duke Anah, Duke Deshan, Duke Ezer, Duke Deshan. These are the dukes that came of Hori, among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bala, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of the city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jabab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his stead. And Jabab died, and Husham of the land of Teman, I reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead, and the name of the city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Mazrakah reigned in his stead, and Samlah died, and Saul of the Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead, and Saul died, and Balahanan, the son of Zakbor, and Saul died, and the son of Akbor reigned in his stead, and Balahan, the son of Akbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Paul, and his wife's name was Mehabel, and the daughter of Mehabel, daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of the dukes that come of Esau according to their families after their places by the name: Duke Timnah, Duke Alvad, Duke Japheth, Duke Ahalobamah, Duke Elah, Duke Panan, Duke Canes, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Megadel, Duke Iran. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites.
He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Okay. So we read about the descendants and the heirs of Esau. Okay, so let's close out Genesis 36th chapter, which will conclude the Torah portion of this week's service. All right, go ahead.
Kasharah,
Kasharah,
the Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Naishah, with Nashaman. All the Yahweh said.
All the Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Come. Okay. Next reader. Who's that? Come.
Wait,
That's me.
I got this one right. Okay. So we're in the half Torah portion, and we'll be reading in Hosea, starting from the 11th chapter, the 7th verse, and you read over to the 12th chapter, verse 12.
I like this one, chapter 11.
Okay, and we'll be reading about Yahweh's compassion on Israel despite Israel's lack of gratitude for what the Most High has done for them. Okay,
Hosea, what chapter?
Hosea, the 11th chapter, starting from verse 7. No.
What is that?
We don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to see it.
No.
Name of the land after. Man.
Okay, so you got it. Hosea, the 11th chapter.
Verse 7 through 12.
Nah. Start from the 7th verse, and you're gonna go all the way over to the 12th chapter, verse 12.
Come.
Okay.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 11 and verse 7. And my people are bent to backsliding from me.
So my people talking about Israel have a petition, have a penitence to want to backslide, go against the law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. Okay, go ahead.
Though they called them to the Most High, none at all would exalt him. How shall I give up thee up, Ephraim? How shall I deliver thee, Israel? How shall I make thee as a mount? How shall I set thee as a bone? Mine heart is turned within me. My repentings are kindled together. I will not execute the fiercings of mine anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, for I am God and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. They shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar like a lion. When he shall roar, the children shall tremble from the west. They shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt. And
So
as
the
a
fear of the
dove.
Most High will descend upon the people once the Most High starts bringing the wrath and the destruction that He's promised to bring upon them. And we see that happening now, slowly but surely. We're at the point that the Most High will turn up. Okay, we're at the point that the Most High will bring His judgment upon His wicked kingdom of Babylon, upon His wicked kingdom of Solomon and Gomorrah. Okay, and we're reading in Hosea about Israel and Ephraim. Okay, Israel representing the southern kingdom and Ephraim representing the northern kingdom. Okay, how they continue to backslide against His law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. All right, go ahead.
Verse 11. They shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, a dove out of the land of Assyria, and I will place them in their houses, said the Lord. Ephraim compasseth me about with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with God, and is faithful with the saints. Chapter 12. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Okay, and we're reading about the long history of rebellion that our nation has continually have against the Most High's word. All right, go ahead.
Right here, he's talking about the Northern Kingdom, right?
Well, he's talking about the Northern Kingdom here, but he's also a reference
As a whole.
As a whole.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
That's why he said Ephraim, then he said Israel, right?
Yeah. So both of them, Northern and Southern Kingdom. All right, go ahead.
Ephraim feedeth on wind, and followeth after the east wind. He daily increaseth lies and desolation, and they do make a covenant with the Assyrians, and oil is carried into Egypt. The Lord hath also controversy with Judah, and will punish Jacob according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him.
When he was talking about Ephraim with the Assyrians Ephraim tried to team up with the Assyrians and come against Judah. You know, they was going to war with them. And, you know, keep going.
Verse 3, he took his brother by the heel in thy womb, and by his strength he had power with God. Yet he had power over the angel and prevailed. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spake with us.
So he was speaking about the time when Yaquab was fighting with the angel and how he had power, he had power to, to wrestle him. And he found him in Bethel in the house of God. That's where the angel found Yaquab, was in that. So he's talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 5, even the Lord God of hosts, the Lord is his memorial. Therefore, turn thou to thy God, keep mercy and judgment, and wait on thy God continually. He is a merchant. The balances of the sea are in his hand. He loveth to oppress. And Ephraim said, yet I am come rich. I have found me out substance. In all my labors they shall find none iniquity in me. That were sin. And I, that am the Lord thy God from the land of Egypt, will yet make thee to dwell in tabernacles, as in the days of the solemn feast. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions.
What verse you in?
Verse 10.
Okay.
Verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions, and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. Is there iniquity in Gilead? Surely they are vanity. They sacrifice bullocks in Gilgal. Yea, their altars are as heaps in the furrows of the fields. And Jacob fled into the country of Syria, and Israel served for a wife. And for a wife he kept a sheep. That's the end of that.
Okay. So Ephraim's constant desire to use idols, and Israel's constant desire to divulge into wickedness and evil. All right. Go to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah, starting from the first verse, going to the 21st verse.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord, concerning Edom.
So now we're going to read about the prophecy of Edom, who so-called white man is, according to the Bible.
That's right.
Okay. Go ahead.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Now, who's this ambassador? Okay, this is talking about in 1948 when Golda Meir, the Egyptian president at the time, stood up in the UN Council and protested that how can these so-called white people, descendants of the Amalekites, Khazar Empire over in Europe, how can these white people be placed back into the land of Israel?
Oh yeah, forgot his name.
Gomar Nasir.
Yeah, Nazir.
The Egyptian president. The Egyptian president at the time, he protested in the UN and said, how can these white people be put back into the land of Israel? When history shows that the Israelites were black, that left Israel in ancient times. So this is what led to the 6-Day War, and this is what has led up to the general conflict between the Arab nations surrounding the state of Israel and the Zionist remnant of the Khazar Empire that is in Israel as we speak right now. So the ambassador said among the heathen, let us rise up against them in battle. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
And the so-called white man is greatly despised. Even though he runs everything, all nations are slowly turning against him.
Yeah, they all hate him.
Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? This is what the Most High is asking. If he's not the wicked, then tell me who the wicked is, because I said he is the wicked. Okay. Go ahead. What verse you in?
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
The pride of thy heart, pride of thy mind, okay, have deceived thee. Go ahead.
That thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high.
Slow up. Read that again.
That thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the cliffs of the rocks? That's talking about the Caucasus Mountain in South Georgia, Russia. It sits between the Caspian Sea and Black Sea. Okay. The Caucasian or cave dweller. Okay.
Right. You know they took that out, right? Cave dweller.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they took that out of the dictionary.
Did
You'll probably get it in Oxford. Is it in Oxford?
Well, you probably have to get an older dictionary now.
Cave dweller. I know they took it out the today's dictionary. Yeah, they took cave dweller out.
Cave dweller or Caucasian.
Caucasian, yeah, it's supposed to be cave dweller. They took that out.
So read it. What verse you in?
Still verse 3.
Read it again.
The pride of thy hath deceived thee.
So the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
And we just explained that he dwells in the Caucasus Mountains. Okay, the cave dweller, and his modern kingdom resembles the mountains. This is why he builds skyscrapers up to the sky. Okay, 100-story Empire State Building, the World Trade Center in New York. Okay, go ahead.
Whose habitation is high.
Go ahead.
That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
So he said in his heart, in his mind, what power on earth can bring me down to the ground? Because with his military, with his technology, with his economical system, he runs the world. All right. All nations, the sons of men, have partaken in the barter and exchange system of the so-called white man through the commodities exchange, through Wall Street. All right. This is what all nations have done. And in his pride, in his mind, he has said, who can bring me down to the ground? But the power that he has underestimated is the power of the Most High, Yahweh. He's the one. That is the power that will bring the so-called white man down to the ground. What verse you in?
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Now, what's the symbol of America? What's the symbol of the so-called white man? The bald eagle on the back of his quarter, the seal of his state building, his government, on his the seal of his Congress is the bald eagle. Now, what is the eagle? The eagle is a scavenger predator. It preys as well as is a scavenger. All right, and he has preyed upon the whole world. He has raped, robbed, murdered, plundered, and stolen the mineral resources from the whole world. From the oil in the Middle East, from the coltan and the other minerals necessary for his technology to advance over in Africa. Okay. He's trying to steal all the mineral resources of the world and then turn around and resell them back to the world. Okay, go ahead.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Now, when he did that, when did he do that? Okay.
What was it?
When the lunar one has landed on the moon.
I was trying to get it out. Eagle has landed. Eagle has landed.
Yeah, one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. Eagle one has landed. Okay, when he has claimed the moon unto the kingdom of the so-called white man. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole entourage as far as whether or not he went to the moon or not. The scripture said, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Okay, when did he do that? When he either literally went to the moon or when he made it up in a movie studio, he went to the moon. Okay, and he put the American flag on either the actual moon surface or at the studio, simulating the moon.
Yeah, he did because
Or
that
send
bookmark
some up
don't
there.
match. The
Okay.
bookmark from the moon and the boot that's in the in the thing don't match.
All right, but that's the story. Okay, so Eagle one has landed. Go ahead. What verse you in?
Still verse 4.
Go ahead.
Thence will I bring thee down.
So from that point, when he claimed the moon onto himself, that was the point that the Most High started to bring this man's kingdom down. Now, how did the Most High do that? Losing the Vietnam War. Okay, he had to flee out of Saigon. He had to admit defeat in the Vietnam War. Okay, first Gulf War. He had all these nations backing him up. Okay, and he's still in the Middle East. Okay, his economy is in a downward spiral. Okay, the petrodollar is about to collapse. All right, the US dollar is about to be exchanged to the gold. Okay, you have Russia, you have China, you have Syria. Okay, you have North Korea, you have Iran. All these countries are willing and ready to change from the dollar standard. And when that happens,
Brick dropped the dollar standard.
Britain dropped the dollar stack.
Right. Well, the British pound and sterling has always been the strongest economy. I mean, strongest currency. But when America will become a third world country, goods and services will go to the roof, and the whole job market or the whole economy of America will collapse. They're already predicting within the next year that Ford and a lot of other auto makers will have massive layoffs because of the tariff that China has imposed upon America. So this is the point that we're saying, that the scriptures is saying, that America is being destroyed. America is being destroyed from the inside out. The economy is collapsing as we speak.
Gas is like what, $4.49?
Right. Well, this is Cali. You know, but I mean, the rest of the country could be at 3, Cali gonna be at 4. Okay. When the rest of the country get to 4, Cali gonna be at 8. I mean, it's just Cali. You know, Cali always pays top dollar. But what verse you in?
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
So in other words, this man is never satisfied. Okay. He is constantly plundered and stolen till he can never get his fill of anything. Okay.
Enough.
He can never have enough. And that's what the scriptures are saying. Read that again.
If thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Go ahead.
If the great gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
So if the great gatherers had came to the vineyard, would they have not left some grapes on the vine? But when the so-called white man comes to a place or an area, he plunders and takes everything. He leaves nothing. Okay, read.
Verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up?
How is his hidden things sought up? Good.
We got archaeology. We got how they be looking things up and everything.
Right. The earth has helped the woman. Okay. Archaeology verifies what? Biblical history. Okay. They have uncovered the ancient ruins of ancient civilizations.
Yep.
And you can watch it on the History Channel. Okay. They got the ancient ruins uncovered from Egypt, Mesopotamia, Nimrod, Solomon and Gomorrah, everything. So this is what verifies the biblical history that the Bible speaks of through archaeology.
Remember the ark?
The Ark of the Covenant was found through satellite photos over in Mount Ararat in central Turkey. Okay, he knows where it's at, but he just can't get to it. Why can't he? The Most High said he ain't gonna get to it.
I ain't gonna let you get it, man.
I mean, he can't. And the Ark of the Covenant and other things, you know, other artifacts he has over in the Vatican, over in Rome. Okay, hidden away in the basements.
Because he don't want those truths to get out, man. Because if you do, he's gonna tell you who the people are.
Right, the truth, and he got to keep maintaining a lie. That's what he has to do, you know, and that's the whole point of, you know, research your DNA, research your genealogy, you know, oh, you come back to this line, you come back, all is confusion. Okay. Babylon, which means confusion. What verse you in?
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
So the men that are at peace with thee have deceived thee. All the nations that were once at peace with the so-called white man are slowly turning against the so-called white man. That goes with the book of Revelation, that they should all turn and hate the whore. The whore, that sits upon many waters, is talking about America. All nations shall turn and hate the whore. The UN is basically isolating America because of Trump and his foolishness. All right. They're all turning against America.
All the people that are confederate against him are against him now.
That were once part of his confederacy.
Was that 83 or 85?
83.
Yeah, 83. He's 83.
Go ahead.
and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
So they that eat the bread of the so-called white man have now laid a trap underneath him. Okay, read.
There is none understanding in him. Verse 8, shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom?
And the wise men, the scientists, the historians, they all shall be destroyed. What's going to be destroyed? Their knowledge. Okay, the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. All right, the knowledge of this world is foolishness with the Most High, and He has destroyed the earth. All right, and then what does it say in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter and the 12th verse? He shall destroy them which have destroyed the earth, and the so-called white man has destroyed the earth. Go ahead.
And understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
So everyone from the hand in the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. Okay, and that slaughter shall take place where? The great slaughter shall take place in the Middle East, the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of decision. All right, where all nations shall be gathered to be judged by the Most High. And he shall plead there for his heritage, which is Israel, which is you so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Dominicans, Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indian, Argentinians, Chileans, Colombians, Brazilian, Uruguayans, and Mexican, of Indian and Negro descent, of Aztec and Maya descent. Okay, you are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
And you need to come back to your nationality and come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible. The moral, civil, and dietary laws found in the Holy Bible. You shouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving. You definitely shouldn't be celebrating Christmas, New Year's Eve, Easter, Veterans Day, 4th of July, Snakesgiving, right? 4th of July, July. You know, none of these pagan holidays because they have nothing to do with you. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For what?
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Now, what is the violence against thy brother Jacob? Who's Jacob? The 12 tribes of Israel. What violence has the so-called white man done against us? Brought us over here in cargo slave ships. Okay, sold us on auction blocks over in Wall Street in New York City, down in the auction blocks in the southern states. Okay, the violence, police brutality. Okay, constant violence being done against us. The Ku Klux Klan. Nation, the skinheads, Posse Comitatus, neo-Nazis, okay, these militias. All these white hate groups have one agenda, that is to come against us. The Christian identity, okay, they all are against us.
And
go ahead.
People have caught on it, but they don't speak on it. You got to understand, it's like, you got to really think, why are you attacking these Negroes, man? You are envious and jealous. Envious and jealous because of the birthright, man. It stems all the way back to that. It's that birthright. Hey, it's on you.
Go ahead. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, read.
Shame shall cover thee.
Shame will cover the so-called white man, and that shame is being cut off from the world economy. Okay, the shame is his dollar collapsing. The shame is him being brought to the Third World War. The shame is all nations are turning against the so-called white man as we speak. Okay, go ahead.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Cut off forever, meaning that the nation of Edom shall no longer exist.
After that 1,000 years of captivity.
Yes, 1,000.
1,000 years of captivity, you will be cut off.
All right.
Boom.
Read.
Verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem.
So, read that again.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side.
So now it's talking about from that day when you went into Jerusalem and destroyed us, brought us into captivity, took our artifacts and brought it back into Rome. Okay, from that day, up until your day, this is when you're going to be destroyed.
Come.
All right, go ahead.
In the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast one of them.
So the so-called white man was a part of that force that came in and destroyed Jerusalem.
Con.
So that same force shall come in and destroy the so-called white man's kingdom.
What was that Vespasian? Vespasian is
Well, Jenna Vespasian and his son Titus. Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was Alexander the Greek, but he didn't destroy Jerusalem at that time because he marveled the fact that they came out, met him, and showed him the prophecy of him being foretold of coming.
Right.
But it was his 4 generals that came after him that come in and destroyed Jerusalem, and then it finally got on to General Vespasian and General Vespasian and his son Titus came in and utterly destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD. Well, 79 was the other destruction. 70 AD started the besiege. No food, no water could enter into the city.
Come.
All right. Where you at?
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
But thou shalt not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
So in the day of our distress, you shouldn't have spoke proudly. You shouldn't rejoice in our destruction, because that same rejoicing, that same judgment shall come upon you. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword.
God.
Also rejoicing in the downfall of another man.
They come.
All right, what verse you in?
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yet thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
So you shouldn't have stolen anything on that day of our judgment. You shouldn't have been partakers in that judgment, Esau. Now you're going to be judged for your sins and iniquities against the Torah, the Mosaic law, the moral civil dietary laws found in the Bible. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen.
So the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, upon all the other nations, because of their transgressions against the law. Okay? This is why their day is coming. Their day of judgment is coming by the word of the Most High. Okay? So no nation will go unpunished. Just like the chosen nation, which is the nation of Israel, was judged and punished, so shall all other nations be judged and punished by the word of the Most High. That's only just. That's only justice. It ain't like we deserve salvation per se, but the Most High is fair and equitable in his judgment. Okay? So those of us that are making a conscious effort to want to receive salvation and deliverance will gain that in that day. But those that do not want to receive salvation and deliverance will be judged on that day. All right, where you at?
Still verse 15.
Go ahead.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
As thou hast done, so shall it be done unto thee. Okay, going back, reiterating what I said earlier, Revelation 13, whatever man soweth, thou shalt also reap. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Okay. What have thou sowed, thou shalt also reap. Universal principle, comma. What goes around comes around. Okay. Where you at?
Still verse 15.
Go ahead.
Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So what reward has the so-called white man delivered? Has it been fairness, equity, righteousness? Justice? Has he delivered that? No, he has not delivered that. whose oppressors slay them and hold himself not guilty. Zechariah 11 chapter verse 5. Okay, so you ain't got to wonder if the white man's going to judge, if any of these murders that happen to our people, is there going to be justice? You might get one, maybe two, but the onslaught cases where black have been killed unjustly, the white man has found himself not guilty in that murder. Okay, where you at?
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. The house of Jacob shall possess their possession.
So the house of Jacob shall possess the possession. And what possession is that? All other nations. We've been in captivity under all other nations. So all other nations shall go under our captivity, which is not really our captivity per se. It's the captivity of the Most High. He just happened to make us the lawgivers in that captivity of the other
We're
nations.
gonna do the will of the Most High thing.
The will of the Most High. Let His will be done.
Yeah.
All right, where you at?
Verse 18.
Go ahead.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
For stubble, okay. Kindle, firewood, okay. The house of Joseph and the house, read that again.
The house of Jacob shall be a fire.
So the house of Jacob
Joseph a flame.
and the house of Joseph a flame. That's talking about the unification of the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Okay, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and in the northern kingdom of Ephraim and the other tribes coming together to form what? The 12 tribes of Israel, which is the nation of Israel. Okay, and we shall be that fire. Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, verses 19 to verse 21. We are the battle axe and weapons of war. With thee will the Most High break in pieces the nations. Okay, so we are the Most High's battle axe and weapons of war. The ones of us that return to righteousness, the ones of us that make a conscious effort to be obedient to the moral, civil, dietary laws found in the Bible, the ones that repent, the ones of us come back to the royal basis, which is what? I probably say it every week. You should know it by now. Repentance, obedience, Yahweh Shai, our nation, Yasha Allah, and the understanding and preparing physically and spiritually for these last days, which will come upon America and upon the planet Earth.
Come.
What verse you at?
Verse 18.
Go ahead.
And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau.
There shall be not remaining of the house of Israel. As a nation, they shall be utterly destroyed. But the Most High said he shall have a remnant to remind those of us that have gained deliverance. Don't be high-minded. Don't be high-minded. This little remnant over here, they ain't gonna be no nation, so you can't call them a nation. They're just that, a remnant. But they're there to remind you, don't be high-minded and get away from these laws and commandments in the Bible. Or we can have trading places once again. Okay? But the Most High said what? He shall write the laws within our hearts, our minds, we shall do them automatically. All right? Where you at?
For the Lord hath spoken it. Verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath. And the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
And the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. That's
all.
Okay. Kimbo. Matthew, the 2nd chapter, verses 13 to verse 23. So this is the last portion of this week's Shabbat service. the Brit Kadash, which is a New Testament portion. We'll be reading in Matthew, the 2nd chapter, verses 13 to verse 23. Matthew, the 2nd chapter, verses 13 to verse 23. Huh?
Second chapter.
Yeah, 2nd chapter. Loud and clear. Starting from verse 13.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 2, and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word.
So, Herod had made a decree that all the male,
The male firstborns.
yeah, all the male,
males.
all the male child.
Under three.
Under 3 months.
Under 3, no, not 3 months, it was 3 years from the time that the star appeared in the sky.
Okay, God. Under 3 years.
So, to kill them. So the dream came to Joseph saying, well, you got to protect Yahushua and Mashiach, go down to Egypt. Now, what does that show us? That one, Joseph and Mary and the child Yahushua were of the same complexion of the Egyptians in order to hide among the Egyptians. Because we know the Egyptians are an African nation.
And there wasn't 3 wise men. I'll go on that story another time. Right?
Yeah,
It wasn't 3 wise men.
it was a group of wise men, a group. Okay, more than 3.
Matter of fact, a caravan, right?
Right, a caravan. Right. A host of wise men came to witness this miracle. Okay, go ahead. Where you at? Verse 14.
Verse 13.
13. Go ahead.
For Herod will seek the young to destroy him.
Herod will seek the young to destroy him. Go ahead.
When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son.
So the prophecy was that out of Egypt shall I call my son. This prophecy was fulfilled when Yahushua had to go down into Egypt to stay to such time Herod had died. Then he was called back to the land of Jerusalem, the land of Israel. Go ahead.
Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, Salakia, and sent forth. Salakia, I'm gonna read it.
Start from 16. Start from the top.
Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem.
Herod was a heathen anyways, right?
Either way.
In all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, Is Ramah, was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, Salakia, because they are not. But then Herod was dead. Behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead, which sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus, verse 22.
Is Archelaus.
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 Yeah.
But when he heard that Archelaus, did reign in Judea, Salakia, in the room of his father Herod, he was afraid to go thither, Salakia. Notwithstanding being warned of God in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee. And he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets. He shall be called a Nazarene.
Nazarite? Or Nazarene?
Nazarene.
It's a Nazarene.
All right. What verse was that?
That was 23.
Okay, so in Matthew, the 2nd chapter, we read about how Yahushua was taken down to Egypt. So one prophecy was fulfilled that out of Egypt shall my son be called, my savior shall be called. And then we read about another prophecy being fulfilled, how he would be brought to the city of Nazarene. All right. So all fulfilling the prophecies that were written aforetime of the coming of our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. So, are there any questions up there?
No.
Okay, so we can stand and close out. That was this week's Torah portion. Vayishlach, which means he sent. The Torah portion was in Genesis, the 32nd chapter, from verse 3, going over to Genesis 36, verse 43. And the half Torah portion was in Hosea, the 11th chapter, verse 7, to Hosea, the 12th chapter, verse 12. And then we read in the book of Obadiah about Esau's judgment. Obadiah, the first chapter, or really one chapter, verses 1 to 23. Then we read in the New Testament portion, the Brit Kadash from Matthew, which we just finished, Matthew, the 2nd chapter, verses 13 to verse 23.
Let me get a closeout precept just real quick.
Yeah.
This is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written time were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right. So this was all written before and all given to us now, that we can have comfort of these scriptures and have hope. All right. So everybody.
Okay, everybody stand. Okay, it's our duty to praise the Master of all, to ascribe greatness to the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the lands, nor places like the families of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitudes. For they worship vanity and emptiness and pray to a God who cannot save. But we bow down. But we bow in worship and thank the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Blessed be he who extends the heavens and establishes the earth, whose throne of glory in the heavens above, and whose power is present in the highest of heights. He is our Elohim, there is no other. Truly he is our King, there is none else. As is written in the Torah, ye shall know and take to heart this day that Yahweh is Elohim in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is no other. Bashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Aman, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Bashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Aman, Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Akkad, Wahafla, Af Yahweh, Alahayaka, Bakal, Lababka, Wamakal, Lapashka, Wamakal, Malaka. Hear, O Israel,
Hear, O Israel,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
our Elohim,
our
is one,
is one,
and thou shalt love
and thou shalt love
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy Elohim,
Yahweh,
with all thy heart,
with all thy heart,
with all thy soul,
with all thy soul,
with all thy might.
with all thy might.
And these words,
And these words
which I command thee,
which I command thee
this day,
this day
shall be in thy heart,
shall be in thy
and
heart.
thou shalt teach them
Thou shalt teach them
diligently
diligently
unto thy children,
unto thy children,
and shalt talk of them
and shalt talk of them
when thou sittest in thy house,
when thou sittest in thy
and
house,
when thou walkest by the way,
and when thou walkest by the
and
way,
when thou liest down,
and when thou liest
and
down,
when thou risest
and
up.
when thou risest up,
And thou shalt bind them
thou shalt bind them
for a sign
for a sign
upon thy hand,
upon thy head,
and they shall
and
be
they shall be
as frontlets
as frontlets
between thy eyes,
between thy eyes,
and thou shalt write
and
them
thou shalt write them
upon the posts
upon the posts
of thy house,
of thy house,
and then on thy gates.
and on thy gates.
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Amen.
Okay. Stan, Amadium. Okay, the 10 Commandments in the Barrio. Somebody get Exodus 20th chapter. Okay. Anya,
Anya,
Alahayaka.
Alahayaka,
Let's try it again. Anya,
Anya,
Alahayaka.
Alahayaka,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Aratazah,
Aratazah,
Afyaka,
Adika,
Maratazah,
Maratazah,
Matazarium,
Matazarium,
Mabaya,
Mabaya,
the Ibadum,
Daibadam,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Akarium, Al-Panya,
Al-Panya,
La'ah,
La'ah,
the Aisha,
Aisha,
Laka,
Laka,
Pasal,
Pasal,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
the Ibadum,
Daibadam,
La'ah,
La'ah,
the Laquaka,
Laquaka,
Shem Yahweh,
Shem Yahweh,
Bashawa,
Bashawa,
Zakah,
Zakah,
Hayawam,
Hayawam,
Hashabah,
Hashabah,
Lakodashwa,
Lakodashwa,
Kabah,
Kabah,
Abaka,
Abaka,
Wa,
Wa,
Amaka, La'ah,
La'ah,
the Ratazah,
Daratazah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
the Na'ah,
Dana'ah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
the Ganah,
Dana'ah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
the Aina,
Aina,
Shakur,
Shakur,
La'ah,
La'ah,
the Kamad,
the Kamad,
Kor,
Kor,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Lara'ika.
La'aika,
Hero Israel,
Hear, O Israel,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Elohim,
Elohim,
Yahweh is one,
Yahweh is one,
and thou shalt love
and thou shalt love
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
the Elohim,
the Elohim,
with all thy heart,
with all thy heart,
and with all thy soul,
with all thy soul,
with all thy might.
with all thy might.
Okay, that was the first greatest commandment. The second greatest commandment,
Calm.
Leviticus 19:18. La'ah,
La'ah,
the Quam,
the Quam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
the Tar,
the Tar,
Af,
Af,
Banya,
Banya,
Ainka,
Ainka,
Wa,
Wa,
Pahapta,
Wahapta,
Lara'ika,
La'aika,
Kamawaka,
Kamawaka,
Anya,
Aya,
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thou shalt not
Thou shalt not
avenge,
avenge,
nor bear,
nor bear
any grudge,
any grudge
against the children,
against the children
of thy people,
of thy people,
but thou
but thou
shalt love,
thy
neighbor,
neighbor
as thyself.
as thyself.
I am Yahweh,
I am Yahweh,
Elohim,
Thou Elohim,
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Amen.
Okay.
Exodus 20.
Yeah, go ahead. And then get Leviticus 19:18. Go ahead.
Come. This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
No, 2 to 18.
Okay, come. Verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay. Zaka 1 Asherah, the memorial of the woman. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, they came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. When Yahushua said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? She has wrought the good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for a memorial of her. Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Hashabah.
Hashabah.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Amafka.
Amafka.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Amafka.
Amafka.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Hashabah.
Hashabah.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
The water.
The water.
Damyad.
Damyad.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, sisters, be seated.
Sisters, be seated. No.
That was funny.
Okay. Madim. Barak. Right.
Right, other yeah.
Okay.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatam.
Yahweh Yahushua.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Okay. Sister Stan.
I like the spirit.
Okay, salute our sisters. Amadium. Barak.
Rock.
Yahweh Shema Thumb.
Yahweh Shema.
Yahweh Shema Thumb. Yahweh Shema Thumb.
Yahweh Shema.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Okay, so that concludes this week's Torah portion. Hope you got something out of it. Stay in the faith. Stay fervent. Stay prayed up. And now isn't the time to get weak or to lose your faith. Now is the time to become more stronger in your faith. So I'm going to say Kwam Yasha'Allah and enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yashala.
Come here, Charlotte.
Brian.